What is up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and welcome to another episode of Faster Than Fridays. This is probably going to be the shortest episode ever, because I am absolutely terrible with the Taurus, but we're going to give it a go. I've done about 20 runs, and I've never made it past, like, Sector 3 with this ship, so you can pretty much predict exactly how this is going to play out. I'm not a big fan of the Taurus. A lot of people really like it. It starts with the Ion Blast 2, which is a really good weapon, but it knocks out shields. We have no way of dealing direct damage, though, aside from this drone, which happens to pick targets very, very terribly most of the time, which means that the Taurus, earlier on in the game, is much more subject to a lot of RNG early on. Because essentially, if they hit your weapons even once, you're done. You're out of the fight. Good luck to you and good night. And if your anti-ship drone doesn't hit the things you need it to hit, then you're constantly moving the Ion Blast around and just praying that you don't miss a shot. So let's get started because I don't want to waste any more time. And this is a god-awful sector map. I think I'm going to try and cut up and around this way, but I can't promise we're actually going to make it. Let's go ahead and try this out. Got a pirate as our first pull. Anti-ship drone is up, and then we're going to start by targeting only their weapons. Hopefully we can get a second ion. Nope, never mind. Well, apparently our drone bay has already taken damage, which is funsies. And hitting the weapons has unfortunately shut down the wrong weapon. And so now we are in trouble. Let's move people. Actually, no, they're going to have to stay here. Now, the nice bonus that you're going to find with the Taurus is that the Taurus comes equipped with a thing that allows us to regenerate in any crew cabin, so we can be anywhere in the ship and we'll still regenerate points. Let's go ahead and put a bunch of our guys off into the different areas that they want to be. You'll see that I've also, God, these missiles. You have got to be kidding me. Reallocate that and see if we can't get the shields back up and running. I'm going to swap them actually as soon as the shields are back up, because I prefer to have NGs in the different compartments. That is the weakest reward that we've ever gotten from rescuing 7 scrap. Are you serious? It's not even worth my time. Should have let them burn. Let them burn in space. Because they suck and they don't pay very well. But let's repair everything up. I'm going to try and keep NGs in these 2 quarters, because if these aren't functioning, we're pretty much toast. We're going to have to really, the one thing that I've noticed that really spells whether you have success or failure or not in the NG ship is whether you can get a weapon early on that drops. If you don't get a weapon early on, good luck. And see if we can make a sprint for the top of the screen. Got another small rebel ship who has teleported on board, unfortunately. I'm actually going to flood all of the oxygen out of these quarters. Force him to run around a tad. And the general plan is actually going to be to open up all the doors except for these ones. And so there it is. Hopefully he doesn't knock out the O2 before he gets forced out of the area. Let's go ahead and start firing off some weapons here. We've missed with our first round, unfortunately, but we got the second one, so that beam is now down, which is the one thing that I was really, really worried about. Let's turn off the engines for a second because he can't hit us with anything substantial at all. And as soon as they finish this fight off, we'll shut down all of the breachheads or the bulkheads and get back to our areas, and we should be able to conclude the fight. He's now teleported back to his ship. It's rare that I see teleporters in Sector 1. That's not what I want. That's the wrong button. That's like the worst button you could ever press. Go ahead and put PDB back on. Actually, who was shooting weapons? Was it Raymond? I don't know. Somebody was shooting weapons here, and I can't remember who. Now, we've knocked out the shields one more time. Good, he's hit the weapons. That makes me super pleased. We're going to focus on shields for just a second to make sure they stay down. Like 2 rounds should be good. And then we'll go back to focusing on the weapons, which are no doubt being repaired right now. No, we will not accept your surrender, sir. Put those hands back down and fight. I'm going to try and keep their FTL, their pilot's taken out, so I don't think that's actually going to be an issue. We'll just wait for him to die and explode into a fiery ball of flames, although I don't think there's anything. A fiery ball of flames by its nature, you would figure, would always be fiery. It might not always be a ball, but it's always going to be fiery. There's going to be a slaver ship here that's trying to demand one of our crew members, and we're going to say hell no to that proposition. And we're going to do the same thing. Honestly, you're going to see the same strategy more or less throughout the breadth of the entire first couple sectors. Oh good, we hit the weapons. Twice even. I am so stoked right now. This is a good day for us. Let's see if we can't keep the damage on this thing. I'd like for that gun to be down. This one can't do anything to us. That one right there can actually do some pretty nasty things. It can give us a bit more than a few bumps and bruises, that's for sure. If he manages to land all 3 of those shots, that is a potential issue. Now, we have the option to take a slave. I'm going to accept one, and they gave us another NG. That wasn't what I was hoping for. I was really hoping they would send over a Mantis to kind of, it would get us ready early for a boarding game, if I can say that sentence in a non-Yodish manner. Yodish is the word I use to describe things that are of the Yoda. This guy's got a cloaking device, so we're going to have to wait for him to pop out. He'll do it when he barrages us, and it's probably going to hurt. It may sting a tad. We don't have a whole lot of missile defense right now, so unfortunately we're just going to kind of live with the issues that arise from that symptom. Luckily, he missed with his second shot, so I will definitely, absolutely applaud that. We get 17 scrap and some drone parts. We're doing all right. We've got 70 scrap, and we're not even halfway across the sector yet. We should be at a good starting place for a good run, I think. GM Foe. I don't even know what kind of name that is. I didn't name that, though. GM, it's like he's a fake GM. So maybe he's like somebody that sits around on forums pretending to be a GM, like impersonating a Blizzard representative, and he's not. Let's see, there's a ship floating among the debris. Yeah, we'll give them fuel. And they give us 20 scrap. Fantastic. Absolutely great. I'm going to try and make a run over to here, and if we have to jump a couple of these sectors on the right, we will. There's 2 ships, one chasing the other, and the pursuer is a pirate. We're going to jump in and help because I'm in hero-y mood right now. I'm in a benevolent mood. Let's fire on the weapons because, ooh, it's a 3-weapon ship. We have nasty mode problems right now. Yeah, and we're going to get lasered. We might even potentially... God, I really wish he would hit the right thing. I think these are firing on alternating... Yeah, they're firing on alternating rotations, so we should be alright. Come on, drone, you can do it, Woogie! This is Woogie 3.0, 4.0, 5. I don't even remember what iteration he was on. He was getting up there, though. 13, and... Let's see here. It's a good thing you came when you did. Ooh, we get a freebie ion bomb. I will take it. Now, the question remains... It costs us a missile to use that. I'll probably actually... The ion bomb's pretty good for disabling systems when you can't get through their shields. I might consider... I don't know. I just don't know what I want to do with that ion bomb. If we end up at a station and there's actually like a repeater laser or anything, I'll probably take that over that because we already have an ion weapon on a very, very short cooldown. Let's go into our ship menu and get our shields too. That seems to be like the universal decision for most players is to get shields 2 as early as they can. And then after that, there's a little bit of a disagreement in the community about what you should do next. I don't participate because I play this game at a little bit higher of a level than a chimp would. Looks like we've got another slave ship, and this one has mantises. So let's fire on their no, I'm sorry, not their shields. I want to fire on their weapons. There we go. And first hit. Very good. So their beam has now been rendered ineffective. It is completely and totally ineffectual. It's impotent. It gets made fun of in TV commercials about Bob. This is Bob. His energy cannon doesn't work properly. I don't even remember the name. We can get another slave right now. We got burned on the last one, though, and we've already got a full crew, so I think I'm going to say surrender is not an option. We're going to sink this thing. I almost said we're going to sink this pony, but that didn't make sense. How often do ponies get torpedoed? 21 a drone part? Yeah, I'm glad we did that. We could really use some of that double-digit scrap. An empty sector. I'm going to demand the surrender. So basically, ooh, we actually have a problem. Alright, so in this case... Yeah, I'm going to try and knock out the engines first, but I mean, there's no guaranteeing what I'm going to hit or what I'm not going to hit. Since their cockpit is destroyed, they can't actually jump out anyways. Let's focus on the weapons for a moment and at least get rid of that missile right there. Is there a leak in our cockpit? Oh, there is. Let's give a little bit of extra oxygen to help out there. If you open up these bulkheads to the different areas, it will share the oxygen between the two. If you find yourself in desperate straits, that is a way to get quick oxygen to a location. 20 scrap? Good. We're actually I'm happy with this opening, and as I say that, I'm sure there's like a dozen teleporting Mantis ships waiting for us. We do not exactly have a very defensible ship for boarding occupation. That is one thing I can say for certain. Let's go down to here, and I think that's going to be the last one we're going to have time to hit before we jump on out. Our hull is not looking so good. I usually... Ew, bad luck hits again. If I can jump from there to maybe there, I don't know if it's going to let me, though. So I'm not going to take the chance. I know you guys told me there's like a button I can hold down somewhere that puts little connectors between those two, but I don't remember. I'm going to repair 5 damage for 10 scrap at this little shop because I can. And then we're going to go to the next sector. We can go to the Uncharted Nebula, or we can go to the Mantis sector. Both are bad decisions given our recent build. If we catch an ion storm in the Uncharted Nebula, we're pretty much dead in the water. But if we get boarded, we're dead in the water as well. I'm going to go with the Mantis-controlled sector because I don't have their ship yet, and apparently I can unlock Mantises, or Manti from here, which is one of the ships that I'm missing. Let's keep on a-truckin'. We're getting low on fuel, which is a little strange for Sector 2. I'm going to hit these two and then go to the store, maybe? Actually, let's hit one and go to the store. I don't know how much time we have before the fleet jumps into the sector. Really, 2 empty sectors so far. Well, we'll have a look. I have an ion bomb that I can potentially sell off anyways. An automated reloader can be really, really, really nice for the build that we're running right now. I don't know if I want to take it, though. I also don't know. I wish that it would help with the anti-ship shots, but I don't know if that's going to work either. How much are we going to get for the ion bomb? 32. I know there's probably somebody screaming right now in the crowd, "Don't do it!" So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna hold on to it until we go to this store over here. So there. That's more along the lines of what I was hoping for. A Burst Laser 2 would be really, really nice, and it would help out this Ion Blast tremendously. We don't have the power to run it yet. And we can't afford it anyways. Well, them's the ropes. I don't like it. In fact, I hate it. I hate the fact that that's sitting there and I can't afford it no matter what I do without doing something drastic like, say, selling my NG Medbot dispersal, which would be unfortunate. So I guess we'll keep moving and we'll hope for a lucky break elsewhere. So we're gonna have Mantises on board any second now. Go ahead and flood everything and get everybody back into here to fight with them. Even so, with 3 NGs, we're in such a rough spot with regards to being able to defend ourselves that this is one of those fights that's going to end very poorly for me, I can almost promise you. All it takes is like 1 missile to right here and we're going to be straight nasty moded out. First missile struck down our drone bay. Since everybody's where I want them to be anyways. God. And that's not even turned on in the first place. Fantastic. Can actually power that down because they only have 1 weapon that can get through anyways. Let's go ahead and swap people out for a minute. Let them regenerate a tad. We are going to have to deploy another drone as well, unfortunately. He's about to die, so we've got to wait a second until that's ready to go. Let's get these guys back in. Now our engines have been hit. They've teleported off board. Let's get the drone bay repaired. Send PDB back to weapons. Raymond can go over there, get everybody back to their positions. And in an unfortunate event, and so they were just hounding that right there. There's nothing I can do about that. It's one of those damned situations where it's like, what do you even do right now? The missile launcher can't be targeted specifically, which puts us at a very, very bad disadvantage. hitting us like every single time because the engines are now down. Put yet another anti-ship. It's costing us 1 every single time we do that. We're missing almost every single shot. It's just RNG just biting us in the ass right now, over and over and over again. Which is just awful because we were having such a good run. I don't see any recovery from this. This is pretty much a failed run at this point. We're gonna have to spend an insane amount of scrap just to get that repaired, which leaves us with less for upgrades the more you spend on repairs. Unfortunately, with the way that this series works, we're just gonna have to run it out, but very, very disappointed so far. And that's one of the reasons I don't really like the NG ship. All it takes is one wrong thing to hit either one of these 3 things, and you're pretty much toast. Instantly. So compared to like the Kestrel, for example, if you get hit in the weapons, you're toast, but here you get hit in the weapons, you're toast, you get hit in the drone bay, you're toast. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Let's keep jumping. There's no point crying over it now, because there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, the RNG nature of this game causes me to want to quit a lot of the time, and just not even bother. Especially given the fact that I think missiles are fairly overpowered for earlier builds. In the earlier sectors, when you have no way to counteract missiles, they can be very, very overpowered. As we saw in that last fight, especially since they hit like every single time. Let's just send people over. He can't get through our shields anyways. We've got him locked down. Let's just go repair this damage. And once that's all nice and done and taken care of, hopefully... I mean, we gotta make adjustments here because things are just not going according to plan. Our targeting has just been so ridiculously miserable on this run. Okay, and so from there we should be in a little bit better of a situation. And so now we've got a hull missile. So we've got a couple of things that we can actually fire at the enemy to deal direct damage now. We do have a lot of missiles, so I may consider just swapping over to hull. I almost said hell missiles. I wish there were missiles that raised a bit more hell. Let's continue jumping. And yet another Mantis ship with teleporters. Open everything up here. And do they have anything? Okay, so we've already got everything rerouted. They can't get through single shields. So that's not going to matter. Let's put everybody back in here in this area. And we're going to have to make a stand. We just absolutely have to. So from there, let's start targeting and hope that they destroy the missiles early on. Okay, we've taken our first missile. All of their weapons are now down, and the skirmishing has begun in our medical quarters, which is going to go very, very badly against the Mantises. No matter how good they are at melee, you're still going to be pretty much wrapped up. I'm going to focus on the shields for just a minute. Try and keep those down for a second or two. And actually, I'd prefer... I may have messed up. I may have made a... Oh, I didn't. Yay, I didn't make a mistake. But not for lack of trying. Let's close off the ship, and as soon as everything's refilled with the oxygens... I don't know if NGs breathe. Do NGs breathe? It's one of those little factoids they don't really tell you. They say they're made out of little nanobots, but maybe they, like, metabolize the oxygen somehow. I don't even know if that's within the realm of possible, but we can try. And down he goes. That was actually not so terrible compared to the last one. 21 scrap. Got 100 there. Let's put 2... I'm not so willing to give up that much scrap right now. We'll leave it at 61 because we do have to do repairs and we do need some more fuel. And that should allow us to dodge a tiny bit better. So we're at 25% dodge now. I'm going to go for that distress signal. And it's a distress call. There's a ship that has an unknown disease. We can send our NG over, so that's what we're going to do. And without a fear of catching the disease, they help organize everyone and fix the problem. And so you get some scraps, some missiles, and some fuel. So the fuel is what we really, really needed, so I'm happy about that. I guess I'll jump up to this one last. I was hoping, you know, it's a wing and a prayer, but I was hoping there would be a third store. Let's see here. You detect and retrieve an escape pod floating nearby. You consider returning it to space when you learn it's Mantis. We can pry it open or we can jettison it. I'm gonna pry it open. He claws his way into a corner. Oh, cool. So we got ourselves a new guy to replace the one we lost earlier to the missile attacks. His name is Marcus. Nice. Well, let's get on out of here. Hopefully he's a Marcus of the kind that you would find in, say, Gears of War. Somebody that's actually, like, useful to have on board. They want to sell us a slave. Looks like they got a beam weapon and... a beam weapon and a... I don't know if that's going to be a big burst or a little burst. Either way, we'll attack him. It's a big burst. So let's reactivate shields. Turn that off. We'll deploy our anti-ship drone. The nice thing about this is that, in general, you have a pretty good advantage against super shields as an Ion character. In fact, we're going to go through these really, really fast by comparison to every other ship. And there it is right there. It's already done and over with. Let's start firing on weapons. Ooh, and they got us straight off the bat, unfortunately. We do still have some shields available, so that should protect us from the wrath of that beam. He just level up at shooting? He did. He's hit green level. Nice. That's how we color code things. When you're part of the Federation, everything's done by colors. It makes life easier. Blue is calming, red means that you're probably a prisoner. It helps us keep things organized, and that's what we prefer. Surrender is not an option. We don't need any more people on board. We've already got 4. So let's continue on our merry way annihilating this guy. Good night. 28 scraps, some drone parts. Alright, we're in a good spot right now. I'm going to put another one into there. So now, we're now up to 30%, which I think will be helpful. I'm going to go to the NG homeworlds because right now an Ion Storm would it would decimate us. It would pretty much be game over. So really, in the interest of avoiding that, I'm going to try and avoid the Nebula. If I was in the Kestrel, I'd probably give it a go, because the worst that we would lose is like 2 shields. But, hey, a store. Let's go back here and repair. We also have some stuff we can sell. Nobody here that I really want, but what I will do... We've already got an ion weapon, so let's get rid of that. We'll keep the hull missile for now. Unfortunately, we're repaired to full. We'll do our best to recover here. We have a lot of missiles, so I may start building to get some more weapons, just so I can use the hull missiles to knock out things that I don't like. Let's go to the distress call. And there's a station, and we boarded it to check it out, and the place is dead. There's nothing around. Just burnt NG parts. I don't know if that means burnt NG parts of their ships, or actually like NGs that are burnt and broken up. There's a station selling fuel. Luckily, there's a nice cluster of nodes over here on the right that we can get down with. There's an asteroid field nearby. Let's explore it. I knew I was going to regret that, so we lost some health. I've never seen that event turn out positively, ever. I don't know why I even risk it anymore. I should probably never do that one. I get the feeling it's got like a 2% chance to do anything good for you. We're going to dismantle. It's got a choice where we can attack it and try and get its data stores, or we can dismantle it and get scrap. I'm just going to take the freebie scrap, and we're going to keep on moving. Intruder on deck. I think I'm going to keep the Mantis. Well, I don't think we actually need any more crew, but we could use a boarding party. That's the thing. We're gonna fight him. Oh, it's a trap. The Mantis sabotages your ship. Oh my god. Alright, so missiles are definitely not an option against this ship. On the plus side, they've got like terrible weapons, so we should just be able to whittle him down. This is gonna be kind of one of those wait and watch fights. Or if you really wanted to be clever about it, it'd be like a Weight Watchers, but like the weight would be spelled homonyms ho. That's something we have plenty of here at the Nerd Castle. God. And that's all it takes right there. We're backsliding because we missed a couple shots. I think I'm going to swap this out, actually. Let's just focus on the shields, since they can't get through mine. And there's no point really focusing on their weapons. Although, if we're not going to land our shots, it's going to be pointless anyways. Oh my god, this could turn into one of those fights that just takes forever. It just takes absolutely just insane amounts of time. Because we're not getting anything done. We keep missing. I mean, I don't know what the miss ratio is in this game, but apparently it's like 5 million. There we go. We're finally managing to semi-break through, although my drone decided to take its cigarette break right there. Decided to enjoy itself a durry while I was trying to get it to do other things. And now it's decided it hates the other drones. Whether or not defense drones and offense drones don't get along. It's kind of like an... It's weird. It's kind of like a political thing in the drone world. The defense drones and the offense drones, just they can't stand each other. They say potato, the others say potato. Some of them say, like, pototo, but that's just because they're bad at spelling, so... Down he goes, and that took entirely too long. And look how, God, how have we lost so much hull already? Sometimes I hate my life in this game. I legitimately hate my own existence. I'm gonna try and do those 4. We got like that little box over there that looks like the dippery part of the Big Dipper. There's a Mantis ship hunting in the distance. He's only got 2 lasers. What could go wrong? Oh, he's got 3. I couldn't see that one. Well, damn. He's like, surprise! God. Why? I'm gonna try and hit him with a hull missile right there. There's really no point deploying that drone at the moment. I'm just gonna play around with the missiles, though. Hopefully we get lucky. That hull missile has an impressive charge time. There it is. And so now, and I think the hull missile, that was kind of pointless on my part because the hull missile actually does more damage to these empty rooms, but I decided to use it that way, so... Oh, I should have shot at the shields, huh? That was terrible. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, strategy learned. We'll note that one away. We'll put it in the back pocket, put it in the old Rolodex, although nobody uses a Rolodex anymore. And if they do, I would have sincere questions for them, like, really? You know we have cell phones now, right? Hopefully we can keep the shields locked down for a substantial amount of time. And I also hope that their guns never fire in unison, because if their guns fire in unison, well, that is gonna blow for us. Antison, I can totally handle. They should stay in Antison. Let's see here. 30 scrap, I'll take that. And a Breach Bomb Mark II. From what I understand, the Breach Bomb is like the absolute king boobies of weaponry. So let's maybe think about 3 damage to systems and makes a hull breach. Yeah, that seems kind of nice. I won't dance around that point. That seems pretty awesome. Let's see if we can get this thing up and running. We definitely need some more weapons energy before it's going to work. For ourselves a tiny little bit of extra energy. And the cool thing now is we can run hull missiles and ion blast at the same time, which is kind of funsies. Have to play around with that as a potential strategy in the future. I'm going to go here, then to the distress call. Looks like we have a NG that are asking for help. I'm gonna have my NG crew member offer our help. And it looks like they have secret technologies that have been stolen, and they've taken them to a rebel base in the next sector. So they've added a quest marker, so hopefully in the next sector, I think that's how you unlock the NG ship though. So this may not actually be, there may be no like point to this. Nope, they want fuel, we don't have any, so they can't have any, unfortunately. We've been going through way too much fuel. A Pegasus missile. We are just getting all kinds of goodies now. Let's go to the NG-controlled sector. I don't want to do any more Mantis right now. Mantis have terrified me. There's too much boarding, there's too many missiles and explosives. It's depressing. God. Well... on the downside, I really don't think we're going to find fuel in time. We'll go to the quest, just in case it unlocks anything interesting. We're going to attack the Mantis fighter. He can't get at us with that beam weapon, but he is going to teleport. So let's open everything up. One more time. Put everybody in here to fight that can fight. Got extra energy, so we'll allocate that there. And I'm gonna go straight hull missile right now. And if I can knock out the shields... Oh no, we have the breach bomb. Let's do that. Breach bomb! So they're on board and they're trying to destroy our oxygen. We just have to really, really hope that we drain out all the air quickly enough. And that we don't eat that giant missile straight to the face. Which we did. We managed to succeed at eating the missile straight to the face. Boom, and there it is. That should keep us a little bit safer. Now what I'd prefer to do is swap over to this. And we're going to put everything we have on shields for now. Because really the only thing we can hope for at this point... So they've hit our oxygen. That remains a major issue. So let's close everything down. We'll send the 2 NGs over to fix the oxygen. And we've really just got to hope that our drone does its business this time. Just not on the carpet. Okay, so we're successful there. Let's repair the engines. And that final missile's gonna screw us. They're gonna give us that one last middle finger on the way out. Send people over, and I just ended my repairs on my engine. I know what I did. It's alright though, be calm. Let us be still. Like Grandma after Turkey Day. Let's see here. Turn those back on. Okay, so we're good now. Let's maybe put PDB back over there to fire some guns. We didn't get any fuel off that kill, which is really, really bad. Let's go turn in this quest. And hope for a miracle. Oh, no. Yeah, this is about to backfire horrifically. Let's turn on the breach missiles here. What do they have? Just a bunch of, like, terrible energy weapons? That's fine. They're not going to fire in unison anyways. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to breach bomb right there. The ion blast, we're going to focus solely on the shields, and then the anti-ship is going to help. Oh no, they have a breaching drone. I didn't see that one. So that leads us to an interesting problem. We have nothing that can fight this drone. And if they've got one, they've probably got like 50 more. Let's turn the medical supply back on because we might as well. Okay, so that's now done. The next breach bomb I'd like is going to go straight for the shields. Send him out of the room and leave them to fight for a moment. There we go. Magnificent. And so now that the shields are down, I'm actually going to cycle. And so yeah, there's the second one right there. That's what I was a little concerned about. Let me see if I can rotate the fight there for a minute. I'm gonna rotate that back to shields. A lot of micromanagement in this fight. Now that he's a little bit better, I'm gonna move him back over to fight with the drone. And from here, we should be majestic. I think. We should have this one in the bag. Hopefully we get some fuel. Stop, I don't want to die here. Here's what you're after. Too bad you followed the wrong ship. The envoy that passed through here was a fake to trick the idiots like you. Now let us go. Go to hell, pal. You called me an idiot. Sorry, you could have been nicer. You could have used better manners when you could have been like, well, I'm sorry to say this to you, but you grabbed the wrong ship. But instead, you didn't even apologize. You were just like, haha, go to hell. I wonder if I could suffocate them out at this point. Eh, who cares? Let's blow them up and get some fuel. Maybe. 2 fuel. So the adventure continues. Briefly. I don't even know which direction to go right now. I suppose over here. I think we're toast either way on this one, just because of the lack of fuel that we have. We have a distress call, so we'll move in to help. Because we need fuel, we don't really have a choice. I probably should have repaired things too, huh? Weak. I didn't even think about that. Well, let's get people going. Breach missile. Actually, I think that might help us, because what we want to do now is we're actually going to drain everything out to get the fight in here. We're going to do that anyways, so whatever. And then the breach missile. Let's get the anti-ship going. And with the breach missile, I don't even know what they've got so many missiles. And only 1 laser. I'm not sure what I should depower right now to get my engines back up. I guess I'll do that. Since they've only got the 1 laser anyways, we might as well handle our business between those 2. The first breach bomb, I suppose, can go... Let's fire it at the weapons, just because I don't want these missile launchers up. Now, bear in mind, yeah, if that happens, we're toast. I mean, we're not absolutely hosed, but we're pretty close to hosed. Let's close everything back off. And given our regeneration, we should be able to continue to work and fix the weapons slightly before anything else terrible happens. Another unfortunate problem. So let's send them over there to handle that. God. Well, that's that. And as you can see, Splattercat, I made it to like Sector 4. That's like probably the best I've ever done with the NG ship, to be honest. But there it is, faster than Friday for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will continue to maintain that I am terrible at this game, so do not trust me for any type of advice or strategy. But in any case, I hope it was still entertaining. I'll see you guys next Friday, and take care out there, everybody.